Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Truth, Honour, Integrity Show, Team Bubba style. Basically, without no bullshit, without whiskey gulping, and no cigar puffing. What do you reckon, guys? Could do a better job than him.
Easy. Oh,
Right, it's been a while. How you both
it has.
doing?
Yeah, when was it? January last year, wasn't it?
I think it was.
It's been that long.
Yeah,
It's
over
been
a year.
retired that long.
It's been, well, you say retired, but remember, some people think we've either done time in prison or our bosses kicked us off, didn't they? You know, was it the GDHQ and MI5, NSA, whatever, BNQ, whatever.
I only got out on tag yesterday, didn't I? So
just mental, isn't it? People believe this shit. This is the way it goes. Yeah. So the purpose of us having a get together, it was kind of a last minute thing, really. So there's nothing planned. We're just kind of raw, just three mates chatting, mostly about what's gone on in the last sort of, I don't know, 12 to 24 months, I would say, after the last kind of video. And as most people that listen to us, they'll know that we've kind of not been very active. Like, we're banging out stuff, investigating, and most of it's because the damage is done, basically, guys. We've done what we wanted to do, but we also letting those that are still scamming, Kim, Barbie, Crowbar, and Tiny Tommy, still letting them know that we're still here, like an irritating mosquito. We're not going to go away. We're always going to be here, keeping an eye on them.
I like to think of us as one of them great big boils on a hairy backside that just won't go away.
Are you speaking of experience, mate? Nice, mate. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, what's happened to you guys? Have you seen any changes in the world since we've been told that we've got loads and loads of money, quadrillions of money? Angels have come down, and that we'll get into more details. But what has changed, do you think, in the last 24 months? Have you seen anything significant that we were told is going to happen?
Well, what did she claim just before we packed up? Everyone was going to get better from all their health
yeah,
problems.
let's start on that. Let's start on that. That's a good one. Yeah, she said that.
So the blind would see again. The paralysed would walk again.
There'd be no more disease.
Has that happened?
That's what she said. And she said, do you know what had happened is, she said it was around about Christmas Eve. She said she had a vision from Source. And in that vision, she said within 12 months, she was shown that all disease would be gone. Everyone, the ones that couldn't walk would start walking. Sick people, the ones that have the most common of diseases and sick would all be gone. And well, I don't know about you guys, but my knees are still aching me, and I still see people dying and being sick. I mean, what kind of a ridiculous claim why would someone say that, knowing very well it's never going to happen? Because we know, but of course a brainwashed crew are not going to believe it. They're going to believe it, aren't they? But do they believe it?
Surely they obviously need to do more in the work. If they're not feeling fantastic, they're not doing the shadow work. I think, that was a big thing, wasn't it, years ago?
Or was it grounding?
Both.
You're not allowed to. Was it Thomas said once that he don't stop grounding, because if you ground, the machines under the ground will come and get you, or something like that, wasn't it? There's an underground war. And he said, once you ground, it's really bad, because what they do, they come and zap you and get your energy, or take over, or walk in you, or something like that. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, that about the sick, and the reason why I think she started saying that was because she was bringing out this bullshit care, like assurance crap that she was. Do you remember she had Lisa Thomas on side of her at the time, and it was putting out that there was going to be free medical, and you even get a massage. It was like the global version, right, of the British NHS. She was going to be basically running this, and it's going to get rolled out, and it's absolutely diddly squit going on. I ain't seen nothing. I still have to pay for everything.
As usual.
Yeah, exactly. I see people getting sick still.
Was there a monthly fee to get this health package?
That's one thing I'm not sure about. I think she said it was free, but of course it's one of these things where you're gonna have to, like thing where if you get like these cold calling saying that you've won 50 grand, but you're gonna have to give me 1,000. Tell me, give me 500 quid your bank details so I can help release the funds. This is something like that. She just wants the money. It's always about the money, though, isn't it, with Kim? It's always about the dollars. So, and also it's about the bigger picture is her getting popularity and also getting subscriptions, because in the paywall we can't see that. We don't know how much she's getting now. We were told before that she was getting a hell of a lot of money. I mean that much that Tank was he taking 10 grand a week out of the funds. For that not to be noticed must be hundreds of thousands, I would say.
Well, didn't they reckon he took 100 grand at one point?
100 grand, yeah. And she didn't even say anything. She didn't even do anything about it, because sometimes
drop in the ocean.
Yeah, drop in the ocean. Or is it because also he had something on her? Was she afraid? You wouldn't rat on someone that someone's got bigger dirt than you have.
Where is he anyway? Is he anywhere?
Do you think there's a code amongst all of these scumbags where if you're a scumbag on similar level to them, as long as you don't affect their business, you can do what you want. So if you manage to take 100k off them, that's their fault for not seeing it and allowing you to be able to do it. And it's not stopping them from carrying on doing what they're doing. Because I'd be mad as an actor, whatever you call it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Or maybe they have respect that you've actually managed to get through my physical firewall and outdo me. Maybe that's what it is. It's like, it's like a mind game thing. Well, yeah, pat on the back, well done. I've trained you well, kind of stuff.
Well done, grasshopper.
yeah. It could be that. I don't know. I really don't know. It's just like mental, isn't it? How you look at they can still keep going on and on, like a syndicate thing they've got. Maybe they're not allowed to rat on each other. That's just the way it is. Maybe a little bit, but not actually call out. The main thing is that you are a scammer. What do you think, Raz?
Yeah, well, I mean, look what Lisa Thomas did. She never really came out and said anything that was really detrimental. It was just bollocks, wasn't it? End of the day that she came out with, and she acted like it was the biggest thing that she were going to bring her down. But she had nothing really.
Well, we knew it wouldn't bring her down, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. But you kind of hope as well, though. You kind of hope, but maybe she's from Inner Circle. Maybe she has got something.
That's right. We had a bit of hope there, didn't we? We were spread some hopium bullshit, probably. But the recordings were good. I must admit, they were good.
They were interesting, weren't they?
They were interesting. Yeah, I think so. And it did wake a few people up. It did its purpose, I think. But we knew it weren't going to bring her down, just like Tiny.
No, because we know people sucked in their cult. There's literally nothing will wake them up. When you are sucked in there hardcore, full on. I mean, we see it with the COVID lot. People still walk around in masks. They've got to be wearing masks for the rest of their lives. They never got to stop wearing them. They never got to believe that was the biggest load of bollocks ever. They're going to be getting the vaccines forevermore. So, and this is a bit like with these hardcore cult members. They're never going to listen to common sense. No matter what you put in front of them, we knew that will always prop her up no matter what's thrown at her. And that is the sad thing with these cults. You'll never fully bring them down. That's like that. What's that one? That is it Nexium, that Nexium cult. I mean, he's in prison, that guy, yet that cult is still going. There's still a few of them keeping that cult going, refusing to believe he is what he got charged and found guilty of. It's unbelievable how people can be brainwashed and stick in there. I mean, most people do get pulled in, and then you come to your senses and finally snap out of it and you get out. But there are some that just cannot break that spell. And they're the ones that are keeping these bloody idiots propped up and keeping them ticking over. So new people come along and away you go again. Like we've spoke about so many times. It's just like a roundabout. Sad, isn't it? But there we are. That's how it is.
Also, those people you've just been talking about, they're still in it from day dot. They're like headhunters because they look for new recruits. They'll see, you know, like we could go into like a supermarket and start chatting. They'll be brainwashing them with the same shit, regardless. They'll be talking about everyday stuff that's going on. It could be, you know, what's going on in Ukraine or whatever, and they'll say, and they'll start throwing a few breadcrumbs, like, I know someone that you should listen to, alternative, you know, media, and they'll start dropping the names in. So they're doing that all the time because they've been in there for a long time. They're idiots, aren't they? These people. They're so.
Those are the mentally unstable ones, aren't they? Because
absolutely, yeah.
They believe absolutely everything, and they will tell everybody that just to sort of try and prove to themselves that they are right, and they are the dangerous ones.
I think,
but if they have a high turnover, don't they? We know this. They have a high turnover. People stick around for a year or two before they kind of realise and then slope off quietly, usually. Unlike us.
That is the funny thing. I mean, some of them big names, where I say big names, like in Tiny's cult, the names, if I was to say them, I'm not going to say their names, but if I was to say them, everyone knew them because they were very active in the cult, very vocal, busy bodies, what to be, sort of like teacher's pet sort of thing. And we've had one-on-ones with them, try to get through to them, and they're like absolutely adamant that we're crazy, we're whatever we are, MI5, CIA, whatever. And yet when the penny finally does drop, they just disappear. They don't come to us and say, sorry, you know, you were right, I should have listened to you earlier. I mean, have we ever had? I think we may have had one or two do that, but most people just feel so embarrassed. They just, one day they're there, and then a few months later you think, where's he gone? Ain't seen him for a while. Or maybe not a few months, a few weeks. I think where are they gone?
From Tiny's cult, from Tiny's cult, they're a bit that way inclined. And I don't know whether it's because of the mainly Americans that are sucked in by him. Whereas a lot of the ones at Kim's, they tend to have been Australian, South African, you know, New Zealanders. They seem to have a little bit more about them. About, you know, I've just been stitched up. What an idiot I feel. And I think we kind of, it's not a case of blowing your own trumpet, but I think we sort of not trailblazed. We kind of showed them the way, didn't we? To not to be that kind of person, not to be a timid person about what's just happened and what you've realised has just happened. Like you say, when the penny does drop, it's, you know, it's all well and good walking away and trying to keep your dignity, but there are better ways of keeping your dignity. And I think the better ways are doing what we've done and what other people have done, coming out of these cults. Because we aren't going to beat about the bush. anymore, are we? I don't know whether we ever have done, really, but they are cults.
Yeah, of course they are. They're crazy people, absolutely crazy. The ones that have been in there for more than a couple of years, and the ones that are kind of like lieutenants or whatever to the leaders, the ones that kind of keep them all in line, making sure they don't, they protect their leader. We saw it with Kim's Telegram groups. Whenever Kim was getting attacked, they'd be there, like basically getting rid of. And an attack to them, so if you think of Kim, is someone asking a question. A question like most people would.
That's got to be the biggest red flag to know whether you're in a cult or not. Can you ask hard questions? And if the answer's no, if you keep getting shut down, your comments get deleted, you're getting threatened, you've got to get kicked out unless you shut up, or you actually do get kicked out, it's a cult. It's not difficult, is it? It's a cult.
No.
Like the COVID cult. That was probably the biggest cult we've ever seen. Well, the pharmaceutical industry is probably the biggest cult, but as a sideshow to that, what went on with COVID, that was probably the biggest, like, short-term psyop cult sort of thing that's ever happened to humanity, and we failed miserably, didn't we? Absolutely miserably. Look how many people fell for that in that first 6 months, that first year. Literally 95% of people, like if you was to go on a Facebook group, there was just the odd comment calling it out. This don't sound right to me. There's only old people are dying of this. What are we so afraid of? This is just the flu.
I think there were more. I think there were more, Lesser. I think it were more than less than 95%. No, I think there still were, but I just think they didn't dare come forward.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. The amount of people who are actually vocal was tiny in the early days.
Not that kind of tiny, but the other kind of tiny.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, straight away that that should be the biggest red flag ever. If you can't ask questions, and anyone speaking out, like the food doctors that were and scientists that were speaking out about things like mRNA vaccines that had been tested for the previous 20 years, and all the animal studies failed miserably. Anyone speaking like that never got anywhere near mainstream TV. I mean, that should be like a massive alarm going off. And to people who are supposedly awake, like these people consider themselves awake compared to mainstream sheep, as we like to call, like normies. They should. Why don't they consider that? Like when you're inside a cult and you're watching the cult leader shutting conversation down, kicking people out of the group, simply asking a question. I just don't understand why that's not raising alarm bells for people, because that is what woke me up. That is exactly what woke me up to him, is how he was shutting conversations down and how he and Chloe were treating people. So, yeah. But I guess we're all different. Some people want to believe harder than others, don't they? Because they might be at a point. I do notice with Tiny's cult, there is a lot of older people in that cult. People perhaps have lived most of their life, like in the 50s, 60s, 70s even. They might have lost their lifelong partner or something. They're now on their own. The kids are sort of not living with them anymore, and that is their life. That's like their new family, and they just cannot even go there. That this might not be what I think it is. This could be what that bloody Team Bubba says it is, and they just will not allow their thought process to go there, and they just lock themselves away in this crazy cult. I just don't get it. I just don't fully
they don't want
get
their world to come crushing down. They can't bear the thought that what their reality that they're living there and then is about to come crashing down or could come crashing down. If you pick away at that thread, just leave it, just tuck it back inside. It's fine. But no, you've got to pick away at it. You've got to pick away at it. If it's going to stand up to any criticism, then you've got to start picking at it. And then if it doesn't turn into anything, then everything's going to be fine. You're on the right path. But if you do start to pick away and you start to, no, hang on a minute, what's that? Oh, question that. Oh, what about this? But he said this and she said that. But that's not true either. That hasn't happened either. It's like all this, what were they? Zim Zam, Bing Bongs, whatever they were. Every Monday, what happening, wasn't it? Every Monday.
Yeah, it was the currency, was it? They was going to do a complete revaluation of currencies. There was only two currencies, was the Zimbabwean dollars and the Iraqi dinar. That's, I think, what you're talking about.
The dinars, yeah. Yeah.
Which they said, didn't they? It was like so many trillion. They had like hyperinflation, the old notes, which you could get something like 100 trillion note and be enough like $1 to the Zim. They said, but you've just got to go down and exchange, and it's going to happen next week. That sort of stuff.
And Kim used the same thing, didn't she? She used it's happening this week. It's happening. The computer's always got hacked or something happened or they put a stop on it, and it's all seeing, all knowing.
The clowns.
She made a big mistake though, didn't she? When we did the
just what?
But she made a massive mistake with the 120,000 source angels that were coming down to kick butt and remove all the bad people. Also, which, within the bad people we're talking about anyone that didn't agree with the restoration plan she was doing, like world leaders, any kind of controllers, those that are in the media. These 120,000 sources, apparently source angels, they removed, was it 1 million overnight bad people? But Team Bubba was still there. We were still knocking out the material.
I don't think it has a million, but that was something like 100,000, wasn't it? That was a big number.
Yeah.
And we did ask at the time, why have we been left out? I mean, we're supposed to be number one enemy, aren't we?
Well, the things we've been accused of, that's one of the worst crimes on the planet. So
we might have dropped down the list.
Yeah, probably.
We've not been about a while, so we may have dropped down the list a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we could all be clones. Maybe we're clones though, Buzzer. We got replaced by clones because remember, because Trump's been dead 2 years, isn't he, or something? Is it 4 years? And that's not the real Trump. That's president at the moment. So it's a clone.
Are you the real last? Are you the real?
That's it. I don't know. You could be. Was it AI generated? You don't know. Crazy as it is. But
tell you what, that's mixed things up now, isn't it, boys? This AI.
Oh,
you don't know what's real and what isn't real now.
Exactly. We've spoke about this quite recently, haven't we?
Yeah.
The dangers of it and how realistic these things can, it can be.
I mean, I suppose that helped these scammers in a way, doesn't it? Because if any, like if we was to produce like the kangaroo skin, say something like that, they just say, "Oh, that's AI. We never did that," or whatever. Just something like we might come up with an absolute rock solid bit of genuine evidence. They can just say, "Oh, that's AI. That's not me." We might add a picture like that picture of her. That was the very first picture we got of her, weren't it? Who she with them 3 other guys, and David got that
Taylor.
picture.
Yeah.
And up to that point, no one had seen her face, had they? She'd always stayed behind camera, never show her face on camera, so no one knew what Kim Goguen looked like until David released that photo. Now now if that happened now, she could just say that's AI. That's not me. That's a fake photo. It's AI. I mean, before you could say that's Photoshop, but you could normally tell when something was Photoshopped. But we're getting to a point with AI where I'm looking at it, and I honestly don't know what's real and what isn't now on some of it.
I think there's always something. There's always some thing, like in the clips, the videos. There's always something, whether it's a feathered edging, whether take Katy Perry going into space, for instance.
Oh, that as soon as I saw that, yes, as soon as I saw that, I knew that weren't real. I mean, that was like watching a video game. That was.
Yeah, exactly. What about the kangaroo skin? You saw that one out, didn't you, Bazza? You saw that there was something wrong with the the one Thomas Williams said this is the kangaroo skin that's like, was it 2,000 years old or something?
Yeah.
16,000.
Oh, sorry, 16,000. I was being kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16,000 years old.
They could use AI. I mean, like we didn't mention it yet, but you're turned into a music creator now, ain't you, Steve?
No, I did the vocals for all those.
Yeah, you spend about 5 minutes pressing buttons, typing 2 words in, and you're coming out with a top 40 hit.
I know. I tell
That's
you what,
how easy it is now.
I was hoping that maybe Kim or Thomas would come out and say, "See, they're in there with the elites, because how could they got someone singing that song?" You just play around with AI. People might say, "Well, you're promoting it now." No, the AI's in everything. It's in our phones. It's in your Netflix. In your everything. Everything is controlled by AI. So whatever people are thinking, it's going down that route. I mean, it's going to take away a lot of skill sets. That's 100%. It's going to happen. People that
people don't understand is that and it's going to be this. I've just been thinking about it now when we were talking about it. A cult leader, like one of these two and the others, will make claims and then dress it up, and they'll believe it. AI is exactly the same. That Gemini that I happen to have on my phone, and I've not touched it until we started talking about it the other day, and then I had that conversation about chemtrails, and it blatantly told me that chemtrails do not exist. But then when I questioned it, I asked it if governments. So I said, "So what you're saying is that governments have never sprayed chemicals in aerosol form over the people?" That's right, they haven't. And I said, "Well, what about in the 50s and the 60s? Didn't the UK government spray chemicals in aerosol form from airplanes over the population?" "Yes, you're right." Well, and then he went on to explain that they weren't harmful. And I said, "Well, a bit like the vaccines then, the COVID vaccine that wasn't harmful at the time, it is harmful. And we know it's harmful." "Yes, you're right." Even though she spent 2 or 3 minutes trying to tell me that the COVID vaccine had been through all these trials and all this, they're absolutely bang on with them, until I questioned why the pharmaceutical industry never reported or never admitted to all the fetuses from the pregnant women during the trials. And again, yes, you're right. I'm still learning. And it's like, but you've adamantly stood there and said, no, they go through stringent tests, until I pulled you and pointed out something which is true. Then you had to admit that you were wrong. So it's basically it's programming. It's programming the people.
It's also learning, isn't it?
It's to get the source from Google. That's where they get all the sources from. They get the Google sources.
100%. Yeah. All the conversations I've had with it.
Yeah. Transcripts from YouTube videos. It pulls it all. That's why there's a delay of about 2 or 3 seconds while it pulls the information in and then turns it into either speech or text.
He gets it from chats as well. He gets it from Telegram chats because he has access to groups, because he comes up and tells you where the source of the information's from.
Yeah.
And I think, where the hell's that? Has he got access to that? Stuff that's like subscription. He's got access to it. These people behind paywalls, people that are behind paywalls, he actually has access to it. He's pulling it back. And I thought, well, I can't even access that. I'm not paying subscription. How's it doing it?
It doesn't matter though. I think if you put it, this is one of the main sources of money for businesses, for high tech businesses, is marketing and information. Because basically, when it's like if you put a new app on your phone, it'll come up at the beginning. Do you consent to these? And there'll be a couple of blue sliders that you can slide left and right. And then when you get to the bottom, it says vendor preferences. Now, if you click OK at that point, it'll let them all go through. But if you click vendor preferences, now with this new phone that I've got, I'm scrolling through for 5 minutes, sliding blue sliders across to say no, no, no. And there's hundreds of companies that normal people would go, oh, yes, accept. I consent. What harm is it going to do? And then all it's doing, giving these companies the right to sell your information or make your information available to AI, to shopping companies, whoever. So I know there's been times where I've said before, we like the dog food thing into your phone, and then in Facebook suddenly adverts for dog food come up. But it's not just that. A lot of it is from search engines, and even going onto Amazon, things like that. That people are thinking, yeah, Amazon are pushing the dog food now because I've been looking for dog food. But what they don't realise is that they're also selling the information, the cookies that store all this information. They're selling that as well because you've been allowed to sell it. Every time you load up a newspaper article, you can either pay to continue and not consent, or you can consent by allowing them to generate cookies onto your computer so that they can see where you're going next and see where you've just come from every single time. There are ways of stopping it. I mean, I've got tracking cookies on. I think it's called Ghostery, which is a little add-on that you run for your browser, and it stops giving information to websites about where you're going and where you've just come from. Because every time you go to a website, it knows that the cookie tells it that you've just come from whatever website to this website. So it knows your habits. It knows what you like to look at, and if you've gone to a shopping site and you go to Facebook know that you've been shopping. So it knows you like shopping. So all it has to do now is find out what groups you're looking at. Oh, you're looking at dog groups. You must have a dog. Send him dog adverts. And that's how it all works. It's a big money thing. It is massive. People don't realise.
Yeah, I've had it with the Alexa stuff as well, where we've just been chatting in a family, and you'll start talking about, I don't know, mattresses for a bed, and all of a sudden, when next time you look at your phone, you start getting ads for mattresses. But what a lot of people don't understand is when you've got Facebook on your phone, just because you've closed the app, it's still signed in the back end. Because it's still there, like most apps, they're operating in the background. You actually have to go in and deactivate. Well, we have to actually stop the app, which you can do it, of course, depends if you're on Android or whatever. But they're actually in the back, logging information, keywords. And that's why you get all your ads coming up on your phone or even on your laptop. If it's, what is it, Google account you're logged into or whatever. Because it's all linked. But yeah, no, that's the AI for you then. And I know when we start talking about this, it was about, I was making action figures of Thomas and Kim.
Yeah.
I was absolutely amazed. And the amount of time, it was quite rapid as well. It was literally done in like a couple of minutes, just by giving in, like uploading a picture of someone. telling it you want an action figure with, you know, accessories and what outfit you want them to wear, and all of a sudden it comes out like that. And I thought, I was just fascinated. But on the other end, it's scary, very, very scary. We're going down this route where people that would normally have, you know, careers, jobs, it was going down that slippery slope where a lot of the skills are not going to be required in the future. 100%.
I think the IT jobs, I think they can automate them massively. And unless a company massively invests in robotics, I think it's going to be harder. They can do it in packaging companies and places like Amazon, where they're picking things off shelves. They can automate all of that using AI. But I think there's still traits like being a sparky and other, you know, joiner, electricians, metal workers, jobs like that are going to be jobs that they can't really fully automate.
Not at the moment.
But they're taking them all away, haven't they? They're taking all the jobs like that away.
Well, so like a team of people that would namely like 20 people in a team, like 10 years ago, those people are down to like 2, because you do need some kind of a human intervention in these areas. But it's getting to that point. Like artists, if you're a song artist, proving it already, you don't need to, you know, you don't need to be good at poetry or anything. You just type a few keywords in and it creates a song for you. Same with movies. They're using movies now, scripts for movies. They're doing that with using AI. And also artists, proper artists, you know, the ones you normally would draw something or paint something. AI can do all that now, make it look as rough or rustic as you want it to. And then them skill set, people are going to be, you won't be going to university to do any sort of work in the future, because you'd be saying, what's the point? AI doing it all. Why do I want to be a, you know, script writer when someone else is going to be doing it?
So how are kids getting on at school now? If they're sent home to write an essay about something, do they just go on AI and say, write me an essay about whatever the subject is? And they go off out with the mates, come back, there it is, and hand it in to the teacher in the morning. Then, I mean, do they disclose that they've had help from AI, or?
Well, I'll give you an example.
Daft, is it? They must know that that's not their work.
Well, my kids, right? They're having exams at the moment at school, right? And they're allowed to use AI to get information for their, you know, preparation for their exam. Right? For instance, you know, just making sure that you've got your key points, you know. But there are people at universities that are using AI to write essays, and what it'll do, you put in the subject, and what it does, it pulls all this information out for you, writes an essay, and it gives you references as well, which is what you need to provide when you're at university. So the whole lot, and what it'll do, it'll put mistakes in there based on your own written work. So it'll write it. Right. So it's learning.
Your level.
Yes, because you're, you know, whether your teachers all know it's not your work. So they'll put the same mistakes in. All you got to do is scan it in, because you scan some of your work in, it'll know where you make mistakes, grammar mistakes, and it'll add that in, so that it's nearly faultless. So these people are getting degrees now, and they ain't going to be worth nothing in the future, because people know that it's probably not unless you sit down and do, you know, exam conditions in a hall or something, you can get away with essays.
It obviously avoid plagiarism then. So that's coming up with something totally original, but it's just pulling information in from hundreds of thousands of different sources, and then that just creates something original, I suppose. Must be.
Yes.
Because otherwise you can just do quick plagiarism checks, can't you? Like if you write a paragraph, you can put that into software, and that'll tell you if there's anything online that has the same sentence or a similar sentence.
Well, you can.
And then that's
you can though.
Plagiarism.
That's the thing. When you have you do an essay, you're allowed to use other people's phrases and work if you reference it in your work.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that it makes it unique The AI makes it unique to you, so they'll know that your teacher, whoever's doing the exam, checking your essay, they won't know that that's identical to someone else's. Yours is going to be completely different. It's so intelligent that there's no way you'll be able to find out. And they've had loads of people, professors, looking at it. They can't see that AI's done it because when you print it off,
So really, we're at a point now where humanity has reached its peak intelligence, really, haven't we? Because from this point onwards, we're just going back dumb and really down now. Because it's literally getting your big brother to do your homework for you. And if you get your big brother to do your homework for you, you never got to learn nothing yourself, are you? Because you're not doing the work.
I saw a video the other day, and it's true. I can't remember what the website was that I went to, and what it was basically saying was that if any pupil at school or somebody at university is thinking of using AI to write all their work for them, think again, because you can do it, but you will get found out. And they showed what AI does. An AI in the text, in the body of the text, puts invisible characters in. So at the end of sentences or at the end of a paragraph, it will put certain characters in there that you can't see. But if you get this AI text that the AI is written for you, if you copy the whole thing and paste it into this website, it'll tell you the characters that are there, and it shows them up. It's all invisible; you can't see them. So whether it's like coded into the text, so they say that this is how tutors and teachers are supposed to know that if you submit digital work and it comes up as AI, they'll be able to see.
There's a way around that, though, isn't there?
You just retype.
You could upload it and retype it out. But what's the point of retyping it out if you're gonna? You may as well just do the work yourself, mightn't you?
Well, you can scan it. What you do is you print it off.
I think I would have retyped it out. I was a bit of a dumble at school. I definitely wouldn't have spent time trying to work it out. I'd have just retyped. Well, I did when I was at college. I used to copy my mate's homework. He used to go home at night and spend 3 hours doing bloody homework. I used to be out with my mates, and then I'd go into college. We used to be out at 9 o'clock. I used to get there at 7:30 in my car. He'd roll up on his little motorbike at 8 o'clock, throw me his homework, and I'd just copy it. Spend an hour copying it. And
so the only thing that's changed is that the intelligent kid in the class isn't in the class anymore.
Yeah, it's now AI. That's what I'm saying. It's like your big brother doing your homework.
That's right.
There's all these intelligent kids now out of a job.
So we're going backwards, aren't we? We've reached peak intelligence now, and robots, computers are now going to take over. But I think we have had this discussion. Can they actually invent anything?
Yes,
surely
they can.
Their intelligence is limited because they're only as intelligent as what humans have already programmed into them. So have they got the intelligence to start thinking for themselves and not just draw information from what's out there, if you know what I mean? So does that limit them into ever inventing anything?
Yes, I think it can kind of do. But I think my understanding of how AI works, and you see a lot of videos on social media where people who are awakening, as you say, they will post videos of themselves talking to Alexa, saying, "Alexa, who's running the world?" And Alexa will tell them that so and so's running the world. But all they've done before they've put that video up, they've had to tell AI to answer in a particular way because it will not off the bat answer like that. I know from doing it to me doing it the other day, it will try and sound as normal as possible. So they may have said, Alexa, I want you to answer in the frame of the I don't know, tinfoil hat or whatever, conspiracy
Team Bubba.
theorist or whatever. Yeah, and they will adopt that mindset and rephrase everything in a particular way. That's how AI will reply in those manners. I know that. So AI can only act. You can't tell it to paint the best picture that it can because it won't really, it'll give you something. But if you told it to pretend that it is this world famous artist or a combination of world famous artists, or you've got to give it prompts to give it an idea. You can't just tell it to paint me the best picture the world has ever seen. And it can't. You've got to say, I want you to paint me that. You've got to describe what you want it to do. So it's got to be your idea.
And then that's got to pull the information on how to do that from what's already out there. So in a simplified way of what I'm trying to say, for an invention, an inventor has to think outside of the box. So they have to think of something that has never been thought of before or never been thought of and made public before. So he's never come across this idea. He or she has thought outside the box, come up with this brand new idea, boom. And then there's a new invention in the world. AI can't do that at the moment because all that AI can do at the moment is draw on all the information that has been thought of by humans.
Yeah.
But will we get to a point where that can start thinking outside the box? Thinking of things that humans have never ever thought of and creating things that
I don't think they ever
never
can.
ever created.
I don't think they ever can.
Is that AI's Achilles heel?
Limit. I think so, yeah. I think you're right. I personally think you're right there.
I don't know. It's come a long way very quickly, isn't it?
You can create new versions of things. It's already there.
Yeah.
Can it create a brand new idea? Like something never ever thought of. Like the wheel. I mean, what would have been before the wheel? Nothing, I suppose. I've been watching a lot of Egyptian stuff, how they built the pyramids, and I think they claim that was before the wheel was invented. And I think they claim they pulled them stones along sleighs or sledges with sand, and they were sprinkling sand like in places and they pulled it along on sledges. But you think to yourself, surely why the wheel's just waiting to be thought of, innit? It's obvious. But is it obvious? And it's not ever been thought of
some other form of help. There's got to be some help.
Yeah. Of course it is. Yeah, I'm just using that as an example of.
I know, yeah, mate.
But yeah, of course they never built them pyramids. No way. What a brilliant subject that is.
And if they did, they had control of elements that we haven't got control of anymore.
No, that's right. Things that we've been forgotten or we've held in knowledge hasn't been passed down. That's why we have wars, don't we, to cleanse knowledge, especially books. Yeah, that's what they're for. Did you should we do a quick review of Kimbo and Tiny's promises and sit prep stuff they said would happen?
You got some written down?
I've got some. Well, Bazza brought it up earlier on. Chemtrails, she said, and also the guy called Thomas J. Melville that you've mentioned a few times, who's the GIA director, which is the was it Global Information? I don't know what it is, but
Global Intelligence Agency, was it?
Something like that, where they control everything. Like where Kim's had a Kim system that could access every single intelligence service around the world. Someone that couldn't even open up, create a Facebook profile, like 8 years ago, is now the most intelligent person on the planet. But anyway, this guy, Thomas J. Melville, said that he this is, and I can post it as a screenshot. He put this online saying that he has ordered a complete cease and desist on chemtrails globally. This was in January 2024. So there you go, guys. If that's the case, he's the top man. He's the top man. What's that in the sky then? What's that if it's not chemtrails? What is it, guys?
Contrails.
Contrails. That's it. That's how he's got away with that one. You guys remember when Kim, she was having a bit of someone basically saying to Kim, why don't you sue Team Bubba for copyright for using your material, right? And she said she'd never go down that route with lawyers anymore because when she was brought up in a really rough town where someone taught her Muay Thai, right? And she had all these. She was saying that she could punch, with one finger, she could through a full can of soda, she could punch a finger right through the can, right? And she said that she would never use any kind of legal thing anymore, but she would go down the physical route of kicking our butt to protect her rights. That's what she said. That was back in January 2024. So there you go, guys.
She's got a history, hasn't she, of taking a load of ninjas out, hasn't she? So
well, there you go. That's where the Muay Thai come from, isn't it?
60 ninjas, wasn't it?
60 ninjas. Oh my gosh. That's another clip. I'll clip that up in here as well. That's what Tony said. There'll
be new followers, won't they? Thinking, what the hell is this?
I know. In October 2023, Kim said they were putting everything into Citrino free energy boxes, wireless energy. These little cubes that everyone can have one in their house, and then within a few months they were going to be out on the market. Well, guess what? I ain't seen any. And there's another company's been doing it well before she put them out as well. And they also used the same company name or the same label as Citrino. So there. Ain't seen any of you? Have you guys seen them in curries or anything like that? No?
No, I'm still getting electric bills.
No,
and by the way, she said it's free energy, but she said they'll be selling them for 10 grand. How's it free? You can buy them off for 10 grand, but it's free energy after that. I think she said they do last 50 years, though. There you go. She also said the GIA are now running the Treasury. There you go. In America. They always talk about America. They never talk about global stuff, do they? Like all the other agencies.
I think they're running it here in UK, aren't they? That's why it's fucked.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be in it. What else did she say? ET Council. Remember the ET Council? She was having all these meetings with, and we've asked her to show us some evidence. Some video footage of you, I know we talked about AI generation but this was a while back, ages ago. We've been asking her to provide evidence with her and Trump having a discussion, maybe her and Biden, world leaders, her stepping into United Nations because she apparently runs that now, or she did do. And what about the Continental? Where she lives, it's treated like John Wick's Continental. So if you go anywhere near where she lives, if anyone's seen that film John Wick, where he goes in that hotel and everybody basically all assassins and nobody's allowed to hurt anyone.
That absolutely cracked me up, did that one. Honestly.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
I couldn't believe it.
She said she told everybody. She referenced it.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she referenced it. She goes, "If you've seen that John Wick, well, it's exactly up. Well, what happened? Some poor bloke who was been following her went and knocked on her front door, and the next minute she's telling Lisa Thomas she wants to bash his head in with a crowbar. Where's a continental defence there? Some what did she say? 80-year-old chap knocked on the door to give her some, was it downing rods or something? Quite innocently. But with her being who she is and not supposed to have connect to its source, apparently she uses the terms of bashing this bloke's head in because he knocked on her
Clean up
door.
in aisle 5.
5.
Clean up in aisle 5, she said, wasn't it?
That was it. Yeah. Oh my, that's got to be the best part of the tapes, isn't it? The other ones, of course, we've got going back a while. This is with Tiny as well. Is Kingdom of Mana and the Mana Holding Trust, all that kind of trash. And whenever you speak, whenever we've put anything out. And by the way, Kim definitely listens to our material, 100%. So does Tiny as well.
How do you know?
We've seen it. After we've put some stuff out, she has to mention us in one of her programs, and it must be where she gets triggered. She seriously gets triggered, and we know Tidy does anyway. But I think he's managed to hold his temperament now, hasn't he? So a bit.
The thing is,
narcissist.
we know this. We know this, though, don't we? And this is why we like to poke fun at them as much as we possibly can.
Oh, of course we do. We like to have a laugh because we know as soon as they watch what we've put out, they're probably punching the wall or something, aren't they?
Hitting a bottle.
Yeah, or two.
What are they going to say when they see that this is out?
Well, they're going to be saying it's AI generated, isn't it? We're not really, because we're in prison. That's what she's going to say.
Yeah.
Or we've been disbanded.
Or
reactivated.
The AI.
Yeah, that's why
the AI.
That's why the 120,000 legions couldn't get to us, because we're AI. We're actually computer generated.
Yeah,
we've got
AI.
The 3 of the worst accents ever for AI to.
Oh dear!
Oh, fantastic!
It'd burn itself out trying to.
That must be quite embarrassing for them, really, mustn't that? To get exposed by us, load of divvies.
Yeah.
The amount of time
embarrassing for them.
With MI5, CIA, FBI, whatever we are. That's why they say that.
Yeah, to make themselves look good. Just a bunch of divvies.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys know that someone's been doing some serious testing that smoking's good for you now? Did you know that?
I had heard that.
Yeah. Someone at very high level that once had majestic clearance and very close to source. Yeah, apparently
little painter and decorator who used to specialise in painting skirting boards.
Yep, and fitting plumbing in people's houses, half jobs.
Yeah,
100%. He said he was connected to source and that he was going to take over from Kim for that connection with the ET Council, but he tells everybody smoking's good for you. There you go. Yeah. And it's funny because as soon as I put that video out about it, people started referencing people that have done studies about smoking, but it's not about that. It's about there probably is something good. Yeah, there probably is something good. But it's chemicals.
Nicotine is good. That's the smoking that's bad.
Yeah, it's the bits they put in it, the chemicals in it. But what I was trying to get at is that there's more to it about smoking, the stench of it. Do you know what I mean? If you ever been in someone's house and they're really smoking, heavy smokers, or been in a car with them, it's disgusting. It makes me want to puke. Just that in itself. I mean, you can't even taste your food. From most people I speak to that have smoked, they say they can't taste their food. The sense of smell's gone. But when they stop smoking, it's like it all comes back.
Anyone who's smoked for any length of time, I've smoked, and you're hacking your guts up every morning, coughing and choking it all up. And then when you give up, within a few weeks, that go away and you feel miles better. And you forget what it was like. But if I was to wake up tomorrow like that, I mean, how the hell can that be the healthy option? That's absolutely ridiculous. Nicotine probably has got health benefits. I think they're finding I think at the minute they're saying it's something to do with cancer. I think it might be a cure for cancer or something. I'm not sure about that, whether that's what. It's definitely good for something. Is what's doing the rounds at the moment, but that's not smoking it though. That's either having it injected or maybe nicotine patches or ingesting it. It's not smoking. Smoking's bad. Burning stuff and inhaling the toxic fumes is cancerous. It's not good for you. So yeah, Tiny, he's addicted to his cigars, and it's a bit like people who had the COVID shots. They know they've fucked up having them, and that make them feel better if they can get everyone else around them to have them. So they'll encourage them to have them, because then if everyone's had them, it ain't quite as bad, if you know what I mean. It make you feel a little bit better about it. But if you're the only one in the room who's had your COVID shot, it's like, oh God, it's 10 times worse. So he tells his cult to smoking's good for you. What was his little saying?
Smoke a day keeps the doctor
Smoke
away.
a day
Keeps the reps away.
Keeps the reps away. Yeah,
That was it.
Reptilians is what he
And
said.
then he said that the old clipping is smoke a day keeps the Rona away. He used that one as well, didn't he?
Which, to be fair, that smoking probably did have an effect on whatever it is in your throat. You know, you got them toxic chemicals burning down your throat. It's going to destroy anything that's might be cackling away in your throat. So it probably did have an effect. But what is the overall effect? You know, having a bit of kung flu for a few days and getting over it, or a lifetime of smoking that crap and probably ending up with cancer and dying early. It's no brainer for me. I know what I'd rather do.
The worst thing about it, though, he actually admitted that all of these THI people that give up smoking have started smoking again now because of what he said about it.
And they all feel better, apparently.
Yeah, they feel better in themselves.
And there's
he'll be wanting them all to die so that they can all sign over the money that they've got into his will, so that when they die, it goes off to Farmington or wherever he is now.
Yeah, the People's Club, the Cults Club. Oh my gosh! And especially those that have bought land off him and his dodgy mate, him and his dodgy landowner paying over the odds for a bit of land and a caravan on there.
Thing is, he's taken an advert. He's taken a leaf out of the adverts for the likes of cancer research and what have you that are out and about, doing all these adverts to say, do us all a favour. All your money, when you die, leave it to cancer research and we'll find a cure for cancer that's just killed you. And it's like, no, you won't. No, you won't. You get billions and billions of pounds every single year. And that goes to fund you. And the rest of it you buy property with. You don't do anything.
But there are people that fall for that shit and will do it.
That's a cult in itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people think they're doing a good thing, and they're not.
And they'll be doing that to the People's Club. Those people, they'll be sitting there saying, that's it, I'm changing my will tomorrow. I'm going to kick out my granddaughters, my grandsons, my own sons. I'm leaving everything to Thomas because he's going to go to good, you know, because he's trying to do something to change the world, to push out the blueprint. He needs money to do it. So I'm going to give him my couple $100 grand. Which he'd be rubbing his hands.
Makes perfect sense in some lunatic's mind, doesn't it?
Yeah, because that's what he's doing. I bet he has one-on-ones. I know for fact when we was in THI, he contacts people one-on-one and they have discussions and they talk about their issues and he latches onto them to make out they're their best friend because he's clever and he wants them to think that they can really confide in him and have that kind of bonding. And then he'll start, you know, giving it off, saying, oh, I live a simple life. I ain't got nothing. I don't need much and that, but I give everything to the People's Club. You know, I wish everybody else would, especially those that have got a few bob. And then what do? They start getting donations of $5,000 coming in and all this shit from out of nowhere, because we know that you were getting that, and so was Kim, because they do it off the record. They do contact them individually.
This was before she started selling dodgy TV, wasn't it?
Oh gosh, I know.
Yeah.
I don't even know if she's doing that anymore since they broke up with Lisa, because that was on Lisa and Vera's platform, all that. So she had to open up a completely new platform. I don't even think she's doing that dodgy TV anymore. It's all she's relying on now is behind the paywall. I think she might have some kind of a subscription thing, but I'm not aware of anything. I don't know if there's anyone listening to this that might be able to put something in the comments below and let us know if there's an IPTV thing still going on with Kim.
The thing is, anybody who is supplying that and selling it to people is she's not there to save the world. She's as bad as old Derek sat at the bar in the local pub who knows somebody who can get you Sky TV for 50 quid for a year. She's just as bad, except she's using their platform to do it.
That's right. And if you look around enough, you'll find out all that she's selling you can get for free anyway.
Yeah.
Might not be the best quality, but it depends. You get what you pay for. But there are stuff out there you can get for free.
I find Derek down pub to be a little bit more reliable than Kim.
50 quid. It's quite good. Oh, do you guys remember Tiny doing a show once, and he was saying that the Galactics or the council were stopping the Earth from going through a pole shift, so they were sticking big rods through the planet. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
He said they've got these massive rods coming through the planet, like you would
stop at wobbling.
Yeah, like you've got a pickled onion, you stick a cocktail stick through. It was like that.
Yeah.
2 of those, and it was stopping the pole shift from going through. Oh, yes, he hasn't put any updates on that, has he? Yeah, but not since
Where are
last
they
time.
then?
I don't know.
I wonder where they are.
He don't have to say though, does he? Because he's already he's galvanised it with all his followers, all 26 of them. They've galvanised it that he's fucking fantastic. He's Tiny. He's trying to save the world with these great big rods that they never question where he's got them from, how he inserted them into the earth. They didn't go into anything like that. He's just doing it.
I think it was Derek at the end of the bar might have done it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
They just hammered him in. Got a little hammer, little Tommy hammer, that little toy one.
yeah.
Got a step ladder. Just tapped it in.
Just tapped it in for months.
200 mile.
Going on to that, he used that rods, the rods through the earth to try and take your mind off the other shit he said. Because you remember when they had the UPU stuff and they did the UPU fake ET show. Yeah, we're going to get them coming back. They're coming back, and they never did. They never come back because it just won
for one night only.
There was you were saying that all the aliens are here. They're all happy. They're so happy for us, and they're all giggling away. Oh my gosh! Brilliant.
Dear. They probably got back onto the spaceship and thought, "Really, them pair of fuckwits?
We picked the wrong people.
I mean, no else to do with them.
If that's the best they've got,
let's get out of here."
Yeah. UPU. Oh my gosh!
Is that the show. Human representatives? That little
yeah. Ambassador for
all
the planet.
All he does is smoke cigars.
Sitting corner, smoking a cigar, chugging his whiskey down.
Now you think about it, right? Of all the humans we've got to throw at that first alien contact, we get humans give him bloody Tiny, huh?
Oh my gosh! First contact. You'd think that could easily cause, if it was real, them meeting Tiny Williams, right? That would cause a frigging invasion, wouldn't it? We'd be wiped out, wouldn't we? They go take them out. Destroy
going to be a
them all.
walkover this long.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We'll just wipe them out now because we can't deal with this guy. I bet they've been listening to his shows in space and thought we ain't going back there.
Putin listen, you know.
Oh,
Putin is a regular listening to his shows, apparently, according to him.
Yeah, but remember he's got to do his little what is it, a disclosure at the beginning of his shows now, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. No. What is it?
I tried to have a listen, boys. I tried to have a listen.
How far did you get?
Years. About 4 minutes in. And then that was like 2 minutes of music.
That was the music.
Yeah, 2 minutes of music. 2 minutes of him doing his disclosure about not hating Israelis and things. And then he's allowed to voice his opinion so that he can't be kicked off and sued. And then the next song started, and I thought, I'm done. I've done
about a minute half.
Team Bubba, that's it.
What does he have at the beginning? He's like some trumpet at the beginning of the
that's the Everton. That's the Everton walk-on song. That is.
Oh, you're joking. Oh my god!
I thought it was from something out of Dad's Army or something like that.
No, that's their Everton's walking tune, isn't it? What they walk out on the pitch every young game.
Why would he pick that? Why would you pick that? What an idiot!
Because he's a blue nose, he.
Oh god! So, do you think people are still paying $1 a month then to the People's Club? You said that.
What about? I don't know. What about that Alan James? Then what's he up to now?
Yeah, well, I don't even think he's in with Kim anymore. I think he's split.
Has he finally woke up to the? See, he's a classic.
Yeah.
All the times we got on and on at him, you've got it wrong, Alan. These are a bunch of scammers.
Yeah.
And one time we thought he was genuine, but I think he pretty much convinced us that he weren't towards the end because he must have known. Yeah, he carried it on. He on.
He's a little leech, mate. He's a leech.
What's his name? Alan James.
That's the one. He's like a leech. He uses people to get onto his show. I mean, goodness me, the amount of people he had on his shows in the past. You think, oh my god, why did he have him on? He don't care. If they're popular, he uses them to get his numbers up, and then you won't hear from them again. So what he did, he knew when we forced Kim and Tiny to break up, because we did, when they split, he had to choose a side. And he looked at the figures and thought, well, Kim's more intelligent, of course, better looking than him. So he's gone, right, I'm going on the other side. And what did he do in his show? He was like absolutely broken, wasn't he? Absolutely broken with Alan James left him as well. Oh, that was quality.
He's almost crying. Who was that? That's right. Who was that guy when he played? What was that? We Ain't Heavy, that brothers. Randy
Morgan.
Randy Morgan's when he slipped away, he realised
that
he'd been tatting for a ride, so he just sort of backed off and had to think about things. And Tiny,
oh my gosh,
he poured his heart out. He literally started crying, begging Randy to come back. How embarrassing!
The thing is, he's had
scamming him.
Can I just say, right? I've just found out what Alan James is up to.
Go on then.
Right, he's just done a podcast on his. I'm not even going to promote his thing because it's absolutely shite. His last podcast that he did on the 25th of April was, and I think he's going backwards now because he's taken a leaf out of Tiny's book here. How safe and secure is your phone? Now, I remember Tiny. Do you remember a few years, more than a few years ago, when he told people how to disable everything on the phone so they can stop them being tracked? And the amount of people that got in touch with him and said, my phone stopped working.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's a funny.
It's not my fault. Not my fault.
Don't complain.
Disable all permissions from everything.
I think he just removed them from the group. That's probably what he did.
Your cats are spying on you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Spies, cats are spies. They're spying them for the CIA, aren't they? Didn't he say that?
Yeah, they're working for the CIA. Every single cat in the world is working for the CIA.
What's that?
The spies.
Is that you can't see that, can you? That's
I
back. to front,
can. I can. Oh my gosh.
Can you believe that?
Oh yeah. No. Oh
Yeah.
no way. He hasn't got
Yeah.
him out there. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel now. Then
That's
Yeah.
that's terrible.
I mean,
I can't
who
believe
the
it.
X tuning into that?
That's shocking. That is, mate. And we won't
Yep.
repeat what we've just seen, but him having that guest on that is terrible.
Mm.
Considering we thought he was one that would, you know, I mean, he was on what's his name? Charlie, what's his name? Show
Ward.
Charlie Ward. He went on Charlie Ward's show. That's what I said a while back. I said, "What the hell's he doing on his show?" Because he's in the same bracket of these two arseholes. Oh my gosh! Oh well.
Well, it's worse, isn't it? You did that video, didn't you?
I know.
Which showed that he provided children to the
terrible,
BBC Top of the Pops.
He admitted to it. He admitted to it. Jimmy Savile and them lot were there. There was all. He said that he was getting these young girls in because
And they were expected.
Yeah,
to have
they're expected
some sort of contact, meaning sex or abuse or whatever.
And all of them was laughing about it. All these people that were on that show were laughing. And I thought, what the hell are you laughing at? That's why I thought, I've got to do a video on this. That's sick.
But that kind of goes to show you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but why would everybody laugh about it? Do you know what I mean? Straight away I'd say, no, that's wrong, mate. Why did you do that?
It's because they're in awe of him, aren't they? He's a cash cow, isn't he? If your name is associated with him or was, I don't know if it still is, you might be able to cream some of his members and get a few quid out of them as well yourself.
Well, he was another one, wasn't he? He said he was in the know.
Networking, and it's about networking. They all talk to each other. They all go on each other's shows.
Well, Kim was on his show, wasn't he? Was in a video with him twice. And she basically knew him in the past when she was in the financial side of it all. So they all know it's sort of a big cycle.
There must be a cult members convention, a true cult members convention every year or something. I'm sure they must go. Did Tiny go to a UFO one or something at some point?
Did. Yeah, he did. Is it something in the desert, wasn't it? Was it something in the desert?
Yeah.
That's how he met, what's his name? Drake, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other guy.
They recruited him. Neil Keenan. He got recruited by them, didn't he? And that other bloody nut job. He wrote them books.
Kind of shows, doesn't it? They probably thought, oh, great, we've got a British connection here now. We've got a Beatles connection with his Scouse accent. They'll love him.
Scouse. Do you know, I remember listening to another American show, and they were saying that we're going to bring this guy on. He's got the most beautiful accent. I can listen to him for ages. And these people were leaving comments saying, it was about Tiny, saying that, his voice, I can listen to him just before I go to bed, and it helps me have a really good night's sleep. I thought, what the hell? Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Old Tiny.
I know.
You could fit his cult in a phone box now. Just that small.
Yeah, but he reckons he's got so many hundreds of thousands, though, doesn't he?
No. I don't even think he's claiming that anymore. I mean, he is literally shut himself behind a paywall. I mean, he's nothing now, is he? I think he's got a few little soldiers going out on X talking about his bloody blueprint. Blueprint through humanity or whatever it's called, but no one's taking that seriously, are they?
Well, he's doing
on it.
I listened to one of his shows a couple of weeks back, and like what Bazza said, it's very, very painful. I put it on that 2 times speed to try and get through it. But he reckons he's doing another. We don't call it From Russia with Love anymore. It's something about history or whatever.
Oh, yeah, because he got done for copyright.
Copyright.
I mean, that's how stupid they are. They try to put a book out called From Russia with Love. I mean, that's how stupid they bloody are.
They tried to put it on some of these sites, you know, where you can download.
Called From His Story, to Our Story.
That's it. He's on. Guess what episode he's on? Guess what episode he's on? 30.
No.
30. Episode 30.
What, A, B, C, D, A?
Yeah. 30A,
30D. 30D, that's on now.
Oh my
It'll be 30 double D next.
Tell you what, that would be awesome to listen to if you struggle to get to sleep at night. I mean, that's got to be, innit?
Oh,
Who the hell's listening to them now? Who's seriously listening to them?
Well, I'll tell you what, I just switch off because we all know very well where he gets it. He does not write that himself.
No.
I mean,
he's got to be. He must be. This AI has got to help him out, innit?
Oh, God, definitely.
I mean, if he ain't using AI, he's bloody stupid. I mean, he wouldn't do nothing now. He could literally just type a few keywords out, what he want to talk about for 3 boring hours, and then that'll just write his whole show out. Like you say, Baz, he's just got to put a few examples of his style, program into it, say that this is the style I want. I want 3 hours, and I want to talk about this, and this. Press a button, off he go, fill his whiskey glass up, puff another cigar, and then that's all written up for him. If he's not doing that, he's bloody stupid.
I think he's got someone writing it for him, but I know that when he was in Cosmic Voice, because as you know, he was groomed by Keenan Wilcock and Drake. They all basically groomed him to what he is now, and so he also had someone that wrote his material for him at Cosmic Voice, and there's also someone doing it for him at THI. There's no way he's doing that. That's not his material. I think even Chloe used to write for him as well. He even said at one point that she wrote some bits for him for shows. So he does have people write. There's no way. I mean, you know for a fact the first hour and a half of his show is about news around the world.
Do you think he can even write his own name?
Well,
that's debatable.
Probably no, probably not.
No.
But I think he's just one of these people where no matter where he gets his material from, he will always make out it's his own.
Yeah,
100%, and he steals it from everywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, he is a classic example of plagiarism. That's what he's always done. I mean, he played copyright music at every single show on a platform. I just don't understand why they let him do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is he allowed to play copyright music on there? He wouldn't get away. He don't get away with it on YouTube. Stopped him years ago doing it. So why is he allowed to get away with it on there?
Well, we looked at it, didn't we? Because I was going to grass him up. I was going to shut him down over that. And when I looked into it, you can't report anybody for doing it. The artist has to report, or the record company has to approach Spreaker and tell Spreaker that if he doesn't cease and desist, they'll shut it down. I can't go to Spreaker and say, "Do you see what he's doing?" Because they don't care.
I know. That's why I've tried. I was got to write to the owners of the music and just make them aware of it, but we were busy at the time and never got round to doing it. But you shouldn't have to, though, because any other decent platform respect the fact that people own the rights to certain things and they should get royalties if that's played on platforms. And Spreaker are just ignoring that.
He doesn't use YouTube, does he? That's for that very reason.
Exactly. Yeah, and they used that. They used Spreaker when it was in Cosmic Voice, and they used to play music as well, all the way through it. His setup of this show is exactly what it was at when he was at Cosmic Voice, apart from the questions at the beginning. Remember, he axed all that because people were on at him. They was asking him some stuff that he didn't really. The questions you don't want to ask Thomas Williams kind of question.
Yeah. He used to say, didn't he, every Wednesday, if you've got any questions, Wednesday, Thursday, if you've got any questions that you want to ask on the show, just, ask us now. And there was one of his minions running around going, yes, thank you, we've got all the questions, thank you. And they'd ask barely any of them.
Well, you know what his default answer was? It's operational. Can't tell you.
I still use that this very day. I use it at work. Why haven't you done this? I can't tell you. It's operational.
There's people's life at risk. Why'd you ask that question? It could kill loads of people and the aliens that are on our side.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Operational.
Dare you ask that question?
And he gets angry, doesn't he? Because he says, you don't realise how many people you're putting at risk here.
Do you know what, boys? Taking this time out has been absolutely superb because
hasn't it?
I'm on it. If I'm honest, I've barely thought about either of them. None of them. I've completely switched off, and me trying to dip my toe into it yesterday to try and listen to a bit, to try and be professional about Team Bubba, and now I've done my own research. I've listened to a little bit to see where the hell I'm living. It's just the fucking same. It's the same shit. It's just a different day.
Yeah,
no. I can't put myself through it these days. But it was so nice because I wouldn't necessarily say it was consuming. It was at the beginning. It was really consuming because we spent so much time and put so much effort into trying to bring these two down. But which we brought one down quite nicely. Thank you very much. But the other one, not as well as we wanted to. But I think it was everything that happened towards the end when we said we were going to retire. It was like, just can't do this anymore, just purely because they're all fucking morons that are coming to us as well, saying, you're all liars, and you just think, we're trying to help you here. Do you not understand?
100%. Yeah.
So to come away from, just step back away from all of that and just enjoy not taking all the crap that's going on in the world, but just to sort of put a new sort of slant on their life and not be concerned about what he's doing and what she's doing, and checking Telegram, checking WhatsApp group, and checking, that to find out what they're up to.
Yeah,
it's been great getting back and doing this. I've absolutely loved this. This has been brilliant. I've had such a laugh doing this tonight. It's been great, and I think we always said we'd do more of them, but I know it's been difficult to even get this one together because of the jobs that we've got, and when we're going on tour with MI5 and MI6 and
exactly.
all these going on, and it's difficult, isn't it, man?
No,
but yeah, no, it's just to sort of put a new tilt on everything, and my face is hurting because I think I've been sat here just laughing at everything that we're remembering of what he got up to and she got up to, and then what we got up to, the stuff that we did, the Thor Malik, the tiny Malik that we did, where we just ripped the shit out of Tiny. It's Thor every Thor's Day when he used to do that. And we used to come up with new images and gifts just to rip the shit out of him every single week. Tiny mind.
He'd bite like a crocodile as well, would he?
I tell you what, though, Lazza, you read him really well, though. You read him well, though. You always said all along, the only way we have to trigger him. You used to always say we have to find ways of triggering him. We have to take the piss out of him. Because he's more likely,
he's
more
a
than
narcissist.
To crack.
They can't handle it. Narcissists cannot handle being the butt of a joke. They can't deal with it. They have to react, and they're both narcissists. And well, to be fair, most people, whether they know it or not, have had dealings with narcissists. You just got to sort of be open to it. And I knew how to trigger them. I knew what to do to trigger them, and that worked a treat.
Well, it's affected him that much, mate, that he actually calls himself Tiny now, doesn't he, to try and
Yeah.
Compartmentalise it.
It's to dilute the pain.
He actually gave him a label and it stuck.
Yeah, because he couldn't deal with us calling him that. So he had to call himself that to take that power away from us.
Yeah.
But no, you go knock yourself out, Tiny. You carry on calling yourself that.
Of course you can. We're quite happy. it actually brings it back to say, it was us. We invented that.
Yeah.
Cheers. Nice one.
And it
We're doing
described
for copyright.
it
We're doing
described
for
him
copyright.
perfectly as well.
Using Tiny when it was our.
Yeah.
The tiny man.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah,
But we
likewise,
reached a
mate.
point where we didn't really need to do any more anyway, did we? I mean, you proved it this week, Stevie, by having a chat with AI, and you're asking AI questions about them, and they're coming back with our stuff and suggesting one of your videos to go and watch. So we're done the job. We don't need to do any more. It's out there.
That's right. We said, didn't we, a while back, that the biggest achievement we got out of this, number one was helping people get out of the cult and stuff. But end of the day, we knew that was a massive task. They'll have to get themselves out. But we thought, if we can break those two up, Kim and Tiny, that is a massive achievement, because them two together. I mean, Tank tried it, but he's like a soft as shit. Is Tank? He's a yes man. Yes, Kim. Yes, Kim. As with Tiny, he's a bit of a rock violin with people when it comes to that. Although he had respect for it, he still would say, "No, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that," or he'd get pissed off. But he was, them two together would have been quite powerful today if we didn't put that wedge in between them, and we did a right number on them.
He's lost a lot of money. He has lost a lot of money. And we have cost him a hell of a lot of money by splitting them two up, because he's getting not hardly it. He's following. He's probably more than or less than 1,000th of what she's got. And he was sort of half and half with her. They were a team. And now her following is at least 1,000 times bigger than his following. That must be so embarrassing for him.
Wow,
us divvies did that to him.
Do you know
that, and he don't even know that we were the ones what did it. We set him up
how we did
good
it
and proper,
and how we did it. I'm not even going to say how we did it, because it's a secret. And I tell you what, I feel like one of those, those big diamond heists where you go in and you rob something and you've achieved it. I don't want to tell people how I've done it. You know what I mean? How I stole that diamond. How we split them up was classic, absolute classic.
We manipulated them.
You did. You turned them on each other. It's just fantastic how we did it.
And not only that, we watched it all unfold, and then we played out the argument they were having as it was happening into our Facebook group. And then
brilliant.
The cherry on the cake was they went their separate ways. Job done, boys. We should have just give up there and then.
We were just laughing.
We've still not got all them WhatsApp messages from that time, because they'll be so funny to look back on.
We were just posting them in our Facebook group, pissing ourselves laughing. Hey guys, look, there's another one. Have a look at this. Kim and Tiny's having a right old battle. Did she say? I'll give you the money I owe you later. So I want my money back, didn't he? I'll let you all this.
Oh, that's brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant.
And these are two people that people believe are closest to source. It's like, like some sort of religious icon. I just don't get it. We've just, their behaviour in that breakup showed everything. That those two are one massive embarrassment. I would thought everyone will start leaving the group.
Their cult. Their cult was actually like Lloyd Glenn. Poor old Glenn, he's gone now, but he was like telling them, calm down, guys, this isn't the place to have this discussion. You need to do this privately. It's getting a bit embarrassing now. And they were both, because they're so narcissistic, both of them, they've got to have the last word, and they've got to get on top of the other. They couldn't let it go. They were just going at each other, like wild animals, and everybody was saying, "All right, it's enough now. It's getting embarrassing. This is embarrassing," and they just wouldn't listen, and they just went at each other publicly, or not publicly, but in their private group, which we obviously had access to, still do.
I've still got the screenshots.
It was just brilliant. Yeah, it's just brilliant to watch it. Brilliant.
Oh my gosh, we've got a massive vault archive of all their shit. I mean, it must be 15 gig of documents, little snippets of the audio files. It's massive. I find it really difficult to put it into folders. It's unbelievable how embarrassing them two are. And they're just so, we're just 3 people, right? Can you imagine if there was like other people doing it? They'd be finished. There would be.
And we're amateurs as well.
Yeah.
Despite what anyone think, we are just amateurs. That's all we are.
I know.
We are what we've always said we are. We were ex-cult members. We got sucked into it. We realised we've been conned. And we just thought, fuck you. You ain't getting away with it. We're going to make you pay. And we did something about it. That's all we are. That's all we are.
And I'll tell you what, this shows how many people, right? If it weren't for the Team Bubba, because no one else out there is doing this, how many people would still be in those cults and how successful with Tiny and Kimberly?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You couldn't imagine it, could you?
He would be in a lot better place if we'd have just walked away. He wouldn't be living in a caravan for a start, would he?
No, definitely
chance.
not. No.
He wouldn't be living in a caravan or a trailer, as they call it over there, I think.
No, and he wouldn't have as many grey hairs.
He'd have a lot more money in the bank.
Yep. Oh my gosh. And he'd still have probably Randy Morgans and all them lot round him.
Yeah, Alan. They'd all still be there.
They'll be his mates, won't they? Yeah.
They'd all be having a payout.
God, unbelievable. Well, I'm just going to echo what Baz says. It's been brilliant, guys. We're going to have to do this again.
Yeah.
We'll get together, have a little reminisce of the past and that. Maybe we should have a curry night again.
Well, this is what I'm going to kind of say, that maybe that's why we should have come back. We could have promoted it as being we want another curry tour. This is you just please watch and listen and spread and post it and share it around and like it, and we'll get more views, and then YouTubers will give us what did they give us last time?
100
quid.
We
have that 100 quid,
£100
the journey and a few beers and a curry between us.
That's it. It paid for the curry and a couple of beers. That's how you make out of it.
I mean, let's be honest, boys.
Pocket either.
Let's be honest, boys. This podcast is not going to get many views because the subject, there's not that many people who are listened or clicked on this and actually understand what we're saying. Even ones that, I mean, how many people would understand every step of what we're spoken about tonight? They'd have to literally have followed the story the whole way along, and not many do. Most people wake up, they might spend 6 months, a year, like try to help us out, and then they drift off and get on with their lives, which is what we encouraged, actually.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if this podcast get many views, because if they don't really know what we're talking about, they'll probably click off it. But if we did do another one, maybe we could start talking about things that are going on in the world. Like I was suggest doing it in this one, but it's too late now.
Yeah,
but
perhaps
we could talk about the UK government admitting to putting chemtrails up in the sky to block the sun out. They're literally admitting it now.
Yeah, let's do it. And maybe if anyone's listening, they want us to talk about something in particular, stick it in the comments. We could probably have a look at that and see if we can have a little chat about it.
Yeah, we'll give you our thoughts on it.
Yeah,
because people probably don't know what our thoughts are on a lot of this stuff.
No.
Well, they don't, because we don't do podcasts. So.
Fantastic.
We had a lot of followers, though. We did have a lot of followers at one point because of the amount of people that were waking up, and we had a lot of messages from people that said, "Don't retire, don't pack in. You're doing a great job."
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you can only flog a dead horse so many times.
But the thing is, Baz, them people dropping them comments, they're long gone now. They're moved on.
That's what we want, though, isn't it?
Exactly. There's probably less than 5% of them will get a notification, and they'll actually click on this and listen to it. So they're all gone.
On Spreaker, there used to be, on Tiny's thing on Spreaker, there used to be, I don't know, 30, 40 comments every show. And they're mainly from sort of 10, 15 people. I looked yesterday and there were 3 comments and 2 of them were from the same person.
That's what I mean, mate. He fit his cult in a phone box. Literally. It's embarrassing.
Still messaging each other.
Oh my god.
And unlike us, I mean, we're deliberate stepped away. We're not interested in getting loads of views and becoming a channel. But he is pumping at least 1 3-hour show out, week in, week out, hoping to be that massive cult leader scammer in the world, one of the biggest ones, alongside the likes of Kim and whoever else. And he's just doing 2 because we've destroyed him.
He's doing 2 shows this week, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What is that? A twofer. That's a twofer, mate.
Twofer.
You've got to call that a twofer. And then they all get excited. Ooh, I say all 3 of them.
All 3 of them, yeah.
The villagers.
The village people.
Oh, how exciting. And then they all do them gifts where they're all jumping up. Yay!
Yeah. With fag in hand, with cigarettes in hand. All right then, chaps. Should we?
I have to re-listen. That's another favourite afterwards. Oh, I'm going to have to re-listen to that one. Sorry, Stevie. Wrap it up, mate.
No, I was just going to say wrapping it up because it's getting on a little bit now. We'll save it for the next one. You okay with that? Yeah. Any final words before we go?
No, let's just get together because we ain't actually had a Zoom meeting for a long while.
Nah, that's right.
We just normally chat on WhatsApp, don't we?
That's it. And it's good for like people just to get to know another side of us as well, because we have mixed it up a little bit. We've talked a little bit about them and we brought a bit of the real life into it as well, not the bullshit. We spoke about the bullshit that people put out and we're talking about real life and mixing it up. So just let people have an example. It's like
came across a little bit more fluid and more fluent as well. I think this time, I think we're a lot more relaxed in ourselves. There's no pressure anymore. There were always pressure to do something before.
That's right. Yeah, we just let it roll off, and like I said, this is completely raw. I'm not editing shit out. You might have heard people coughing and farting or whatever. That's us.
I've fucking muted it every time I fart.
Not every time.
Yeah, I think I heard 1 or 2. All right, guys. Thanks a lot, guys. It's been a pleasure, and thanks everyone for listening. And we'll do another one soon. Take care.
Yeah. All right.
See you later. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.